You're watching Guude. You're watching Guude. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So, Jeff, remember last week we talked about Santa Claus?
Yes.
All right. So this week we basically have
Easter Bunny.
No. So this week at school, my daughter's school, Thanksgiving's over, so they've switched gears into Christmas basically, and they have the elf on the shelf has showed up in the classroom. He reports back to Santa every day. To let Santa know if any of the kids are bad, to affect their presents they're going to get from Santa.
That's fucked up.
And well, see, like in school they have like green, yellow, red. They have like these little clips, and like if they get in trouble, then their clips move to yellow, and then it moves to red. Or whatever, and then if that happens, like every day there's a little calendar that comes home with them, and it's colored in so the parents know if the kid was bad basically, for that day, and lets them know why. But yeah, in addition, this month, Jack the elf on the shelf will be reporting back to Santa what their clips are on at the end of each day. So yeah, I wanted to just get your opinion on that, because this is one of the things we talked about when we talked about this last week was, what happens in school and stuff, and compared to what you tell your kids. So how do you think? What do you think about this? How do you feel?
So there's multiple things wrong with what you just said, because not only are there people like me who don't think necessarily that Santa Claus is an appropriate thing to talk to your kids about, but not everybody in the world, like different religions and stuff, might just be by their normal, standings and normal nature, don't have the Santa Claus concept.
So I remember whenever I was in school, and it's a vague memory, but I do remember there was someone in my class that this was the case, and we weren't, and they, they might have just been Jewish, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because I feel like maybe they did like dreidel-based games while we did other things.
Dreidel-based game.
they spun the dreidel and sat in the corner. I don't know. So I'm not really. I can't quite recall what the deal was, but I do remember there being someone that was on the outs from everyone else that couldn't join in the reindeer games. Basically,
they were on the outs. But here's the problem with that, though. No matter what situation you have. You have somebody who sleep.
Yeah, I saw you running by.
You have somebody who's not. Santa Claus isn't their thing, per se, and then you're dealing with a child, who now you're just starting arguments with people because you have one kid going, "Who's the Santa Claus? Santa Claus isn't real."
That's the thing. That's not. I asked the teacher about this. I was like, "Have you? So what's up? Like, have you had this issue?"
So what's up?
I basically told her, I was like, we had a conversation about this with a friend, who hates fun, and so what do you think?
I hate to see the joy on my child's face.
Yeah,
it makes me cringe.
And she said she hasn't had that ever happen yet. She said
she's fucking lying.
She said there's been occasions where someone was like religious reasons or whatever, but there's never been the case where the kids just show up and just be like, "My mommy says no."
How? I think I had people like when I was in elementary school. Obviously, Santa Claus and stuff was much more saying Merry Christmas was absolutely like fine in every place back then. And I'm not saying that that's the case. I don't think it necessarily should be. Like, I get really upset when if somebody says like Happy Holidays and they look back at them, they're like you mean Merry Christmas, when they say things like that, because you should be accepting of everybody's beliefs around their time frame. And saying Happy Holidays is the generic way to say, Happy Holidays. Like, if you believe in Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you believe in Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. I think that's an acceptable, politically correct thing to say. You shouldn't get mad at somebody for that.
I also don't think in just to the other side of that, I don't think anyone should be chat on for saying Merry Christmas either. I don't think anyone should ever correct them and be like, "Don't you just mean Happy Holidays? Don't look at me and tell me Christmas Merry."
So I agree with you in that as well. And I will say, in my personal experience, I don't usually see it that way. It's usually somebody says Happy Holidays and somebody gets mad, snaps back the other way with "You mean Merry Christmas?" or like they'll look at them and be like, "Merry Christmas."
I have to admit, I've never actually been a part of this on either side. I've never had this happen where anyone does either thing, basically. Like,
yeah, I've definitely seen it the other way. But when I was in elementary school, us kids would argue about Santa Claus all the time, and you had some people who were like,
See, I never had that happen.
Real. And then you have some of the other kids be like, "No, my parents said that Santa Claus isn't real. He's just made up. Blah blah blah."
God, I never had that happen.
Yeah, we even had that argument as little kids, and that was, from the little kids mentality though is probably still not any different. I guess I grew up fine having those arguments with my little classmates, back in the day, and I'm sure the mentality of a third grader isn't different now than the mentality of a third grader was back then. Maybe it is. I don't know. I have no idea.
There's probably definite changes. I mean, just the internet alone has changed the way people are educated and how kids. I mean, everything's different, really. To be honest, don't you think?
That is yes. I completely agree with that. I mean, which is kind of funny because what is our plan to do?
We could build a Christmas tree. Merry Christmas.
You mean a holiday tree?
A holiday tree.
A holiday tree. We should also build like a dreidel or something. I don't know.
How do you build a dreidel? You just put a piece of wood on the ground? It's a top is what it is. I know what a dreidel is, but I mean, how do you build a dreidel in Minecraft?
How would you build any?
It'd be massive. It'd be life size. It would crush you.
If you really wanted to get the detail in it, it probably would. But then the problem that you run into is if you do a Christmas tree and a dreidel, then you're still leaving out other religions, and that's not good either.
We could just build like the what are those candles called that burn for more days than they were supposed to?
Menorahs.
Menorah. There you go. I couldn't think of what.
Is that really the word?
I think so. That does sound right when you said it.
I know that's a word for like the Jewish, candelabra thingy.
That's what I was talking about.
Is the menorah? I didn't know that. I know wasn't there like an oil lamp?
Well, yeah, but that's why they have the 7 days of candles, because to represent the oil that lasted in whatever city it was. That wasn't supposed to last.
So yeah, the menorah. See, I'm smart in all religions. And that's the funny thing is I'm not religious at all. So Christmas is not even something I necessarily, Christmas is a Christian holiday. And I'm not Christian to say that I believe in Christmas. I celebrate Christmas. I think traditionally most of America does celebrate Christmas, because I'm pretty sure still to this, maybe this isn't true anymore. Are the majority of Americans Christian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's get some stats. Let's bring out the old statistics.
Bam. I just got the book, The Best Bow Ever. Best bow.
So, remember me telling you about my internet problems?
Maybe. What internet problems?
It was starting on the 10th of this month. My internet, I couldn't stream anymore. My internet would go down for 3 minutes exactly. It'd go down to half a meg up for 3 minutes exactly, and then it would come back.
I don't believe it was us talking about this.
I just assumed I told you because it went on for so long, and I had texts coming out on the regular basis. I switched to business internet. They installed that last Friday, which that part you didn't know because you went. We recorded and you'd left town and all that.
Tell me the same problem.
Yeah, it still continued after I switched to business internet.
Did they tell you business internet was gonna fix it?
Well, business internet. So this is the weird thing too. Like, this is a kind of a long story. I'm trying to Google here. Hold on. Let me finish typing.
Let me find that article that I made up this story from.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I'm trying to Google religion statistics in America.
What are you getting for the Christmas tree, by the way?
So I chopped down one of the spruce trees, and I got all its leaves too. So I got a bunch of spruce leaves, and
is that enough?
No, I don't think it is. Where are we gonna build it at, though?
On top of the silo.
We could build on top of this mountain here, actually.
Which mountain? The one next to, or the one by the apartment?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll work.
like where you could basically be like above the barn, kind of.
Yeah, that'll work. I can go get
I'm
some
gonna go up there.
shears.
So I've had 100 megs down, 5 up for many years here, cable internet, and I've called and asked them, on a semi-regular basis, at least a few times a year, has anything changed? Do you offer anything better? Is there any up higher? And they always say no. So on Wednesday of this week, whenever the supervisor and 2 other guys were out here, they called one of their engineers, and they were talking to the engineer, and the engineer was like, so he's on that old legacy charter plan that's 100 down.
Legacy charter plan.
Yeah, that's 100 down, 5 up. Why haven't we just switched him to our 100 down, 10 up? And I'm like, what'd you say? What you talking about? 100 down, 10 up. And he's like, yeah. Once we merged with Time Warner Cable and became Spectrum, we the base we offer now is 100 down, 10 up.
And how long ago was this?
Dude, that was like over a year ago. So I'm already pissed. But at this point, I'd already called about business internet. And so I was paying $124.99 for my 100 down, 5 up.
Jesus Christ. No, cable come with that?
No, that's just internet. Just internet. Nothing else. So when I called about business internet, the base business internet is $59.99, 100 down, 10 up.
That's the base business internet.
Yes. So you can already see how I'm like, what the fuck? And if you bundle a phone with it, they take off, like, depending on which plan you have. If you bundled a phone with it, it would be $39.99. Which again, to me, doesn't make any fucking sense. You're telling me you're gonna give me 2, so I could get 1 service for $59.99, or I can get 2 services for $39.99.
Yeah, Comcast always did that crap around here too. When I had Comcast, it was I always had bundled cable with my cable internet because it made my internet actually cheaper to also get the cable, even though I have DirecTV,
Right.
and just put the box in the corner and didn't even turn it on.
Yeah, I just think that's stupid. But, I guess I don't know why they do that. I don't know why it works like that, but whatever. I'm not going to complain. I just think it's stupid. Anyways, I agreed to so the next one was a 200 down, 15 up. And I don't remember what it cost. But I ended up getting that with telephone, and it was still cheaper than what I was having. It was like $119 a month.
God, it's still expensive for what I deal with out here.
Well, sure.
Which is kind of funny that, in DC, I'm getting better, internet prices and better speeds than you. I mean, hell, the Fios gigabit out here is only $79.99 a month for a gig up, gig down.
Jeez, why don't you have that?
Because I have 150 up and down, and I would have to spend an extra. I think it's $15 more a month on my bill now because they didn't have it when I first got it, and I'm on a contract. And so they were actually offering it for cheaper, but it was only for new customers. Of course, those great specials. But so I could get it for relatively cheap. But I will tell you, my 150 down, 150 up, I have no issues with. The only issue I have is I still occasionally at peak times will throttle, but I don't think that'll change with when you have a gig down because they still throttle at peak times.
Right. So no, I ended up switching. But so anyways, the problem I was having, it persisted. Did
they change anything else except did they give you a new box? And
yeah. They
way?
actually forced. I've always had like a modem router combo that was my own, and they forced me to switch to their equipment modem. So then I just had my own router. They did force me to switch, but they didn't run anything new from the box or anything like that. That was everything like that just kind of stayed the same. Problem persisted, and like I've just been going insane because like I can't stream. Every time I try to stream, my frames just die because I'm only getting half a meg up. But it'll only be for 3 minutes, and then it'll be fine. It might be fine for an hour. It might be fine for 5 minutes. Like you just don't know. So I started running a test stream after they because you can stream to Twitch without actually broadcasting live. It's just like a fake stream that's sending the data, but they're not sending it out to the world.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, if on your stream key, if at the end of your stream key, if you put question mark bandwidth test equals true, it'll stream, and then you can go to inspector.twitch.tv and you can watch your whole stream, like not like the actual. You can't watch the stream, but you can watch and see like how much is being sent and if any frames are dropping, all that type of stuff.
That's cool.
So I did that, and I at this point it was like 24 hours of doing it. I was just writing down every time it would go out, so that maybe they could use that data to pinpoint what the problem was.
Did you sit in front of your computer for 24 hours?
No, because you can just go. There's a graph that it shows on inspector.twitch.tv, so you can just go back and look at the graph and see exactly when it goes out and all that type of stuff. So anyways, I leave my house to go to the mall.
I really would rather picture you just sitting there in front of your computer with like a pen and paper. And be like,
I did make a spreadsheet actually. But I left my house because my daughter wanted to go see Santa Claus at the mall.
That's because she doesn't know any better. She's got bad parents who teach her wrong.
So we went and saw him, so she could tell him what she wanted him to bring and that sort of thing. And when I got back, I looked at it, and for the whole 6 hours I had been gone, it had not gone down at all. And like that's the longest period it ever had not gone down. While I'm sitting there looking at it, it starts tanking again, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
It's you.
That's what I mean, I was like, so as someone that did tech support and just logical thinking, is like, all right, so what's changed here? I'm in the house, and my phone, and so I cut off my phone, and it fucking stops. And so I cut my phone back on, and it starts again. And I don't know what it was. Because you know what? Apple prevents you.
It sounds like it was your phone.
It
dude.
was my phone. It was
I don't know if
definitely.
you weren't paying attention to your story.
It was definitely my phone. But so I think you're an Android guy. So Apple, there used to be apps that you could monitor how much bandwidth was being used on your Wi-Fi data, and Apple removed the ability for apps to show that. So you can't actually monitor Wi-Fi usage per app. So I had.
So you think you were using your 10 megs up?
15, yeah.
Your 15 megs up with something on your phone.
Something on my phone was just killing the data.
What did you cut off on your phone exactly?
So I looked through everything, because like iCloud does
Did you
a
just
back.
cut off your Wi-Fi and it persisted, or did
I
you?
just cut the whole phone off. But then
See,
I
I would
did.
be curious if you cut off your Wi-Fi and it persisted.
No,
Like,
I tested that. Like I did test that later. Yeah, you can cut off the Wi-Fi and it stops because it's just sending something,
Okay.
some large amount of data over the internet was being sent. But I can't see, and the router I have doesn't break down per device usage either. So I wasn't even able to look at it like that. So I factory restored my phone and it stopped. Like I tried, I killed all the apps on my phone. Tried deleting certain apps I thought it might could be. Like iCloud is set to where it only backs up a certain time of night and when the phone's plugged in. So it wasn't iCloud doing a backup. I just could not figure it out. I don't know. Factory restored my phone. It fixed it.
I find that insane. I've never heard of a phone tanking the bandwidth that much.
Yeah, me either.
Can you look at like the stats that you said the router doesn't show you those stats?
No. And like I said, Apple removed the ability for you to be able to look at it that way on I can't like download an app that'll break down data usage per app on Wi-Fi, only on cellular. Is this a good spot, you think?
Yeah, I like this one. The question is, how big does it get made?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want is that where it's gonna start?
The leaves?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you if you think it's good? Or it should be higher, or it should be lower?
I was thinking it might be a little bit lower, but I mean that might be okay. We can always make it bigger.
Yeah. I left it hollow in the center, so in case you want to put redstone in it.
For lights?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this in my traditional, not symmetric way.
Yeah, I was like, as you were doing that, I was like, I guess I probably shouldn't mess with this so that you can keep it the same on all sides.
Nope, I'm just kind of going. Yeah, I don't know if this. Yeah, I would never have thought of the phone as what was causing that. That would not be the thing that crossed my mind in a million years if somebody said, hey, I'm having all these bandwidth issues when I'm in front of my computer, I wouldn't have been like, oh, turn your phone Wi-Fi off. I'm sure your phone is just sending ridiculous amounts of data.
Yeah. I felt real bad because they had been out here many times, and he called because he was supposed to come back out on Monday, and I couldn't tell him the truth. I just couldn't. For one thing, they pretty sure they would have charged me for all their time they wasted here, and so I was just like, "Yeah, man, on Saturday it just got better." I don't know, man.
Did you ever look up anything on it to see if other users have?
I did. I
experienced anything
Googled and tried to
similar?
find anything that anyone was talking about, and a couple people talked about iCloud backing up. Someone said that their mom had their iCloud picture set to doing a thing, but I had that thing turned off because I guess iCloud will back up your pictures so that all your Mac devices or Apple devices can look at the same pictures as if they were taken on that device.
We got to make this thing pretty damn wide down here, don't we?
Yeah. You got to go much wider than that. Like I would say, yeah. How many blocks out have you gone?
I've added
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're 6 out. Yeah, that's very good.
so 6 total from the trunk.
Yeah. 1, 2,
It's really hard to count these blocks.
3. Yeah. 4.
5, 6. I think it's 6.
So let me tell you a thing.
Oh, tell me a thing.
I will, and you're gonna need to do as I say. And this is not like a Stranger Things thing where you can just not do what I say.
Okay.
So, Chad,
You must do what I say.
yes, it's like Saul. You have one option. Do you want to live? So Chad had mentioned, and he may have mentioned it to you too, that he started watching Australian Survivor season 4.
Yes, he did. He did.
So I downloaded it legally.
yes. That's how I planned on watching it.
There's no way to get it, so let's not talk about how I got it. So anyways, I've started watching it.
Is it as good as he says?
It reminds me so much of Survivor.
Original Survivor?
Old Survivor, yes. It is.
Really?
It's really
Like,
good.
he said how good it was. Like, and I've never seen him. I didn't know that he was a Survivor fan at all.
Yeah, he's more of a Big Brother fan, though, and I hate that show.
Yeah, just to even go, for him to have the passion that he had about, like, how I needed to watch it because it was that good. I was like, damn, like, maybe this is good.
Yeah, it is. I've really enjoyed it so far.
So I'll be honest, I'm probably going to watch this season of Survivor, the American version first, because it's got to be coming up on an end here in a couple of weeks, so I can actually watch it.
Right.
And then I will probably watch that prior to watching Stranger Things.
Whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care if you watch Stranger Things. I only cared because I was going to be at your house whenever season 2 came out.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, now I'm like really intrigued to see what
So
makes it so good.
it's so much. They do a lot of things that I kind of wish American Survivor would do. Man, okay, so I'm gonna spoil just a little bit of it. The first thing they do is after they got the, they do the normal start, where you're on your buoy and you have to get off and get into the island or whatever. Actually, I'm gonna spoil 2 things. The first thing they do is everyone has to the first team that gets to the island. There's 1 bag of rice. Whoever gets that bag of rice first gets it. The other tribe gets nothing, and they don't even get the stuff they brought in off the boat.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they get nothing. So it was like, shit, wow, no food for you at all, huh?
Is this a new show over there, or is it
It says it's season 4, but I couldn't find the other seasons. And Chad said something like the first 2 seasons were like a rinky-dink thing, and then season 3 was like the real deal. But they also do 59 days. It's not 39
Yeah,
days.
I do remember that being stated, that it was more days.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy too. But it's very similar to this Survivor. So then the other thing that they did is right away, the first tree mail they got said send 1 person from each tribe, and we're gonna do a fire making challenge, which is something that apparently they do every time on this show. And whichever team wins the fire making challenge gets to come back with the flint and steel. So I thought that was kind of cool because I always enjoyed the fire making challenges at if it comes down to it at a tribal or whatever, but it seems like it doesn't come up that often. And so to me, like it being a staple of the show, I thought was really cool.
No, I definitely do want to check that out because that definitely intrigues me a lot, and hopefully over the Christmas holiday I'll have some other stuff caught up in life.
It's like 25 episodes total.
Jesus. Well, I guess it is 39 days. Are they hour long?
Yes, they're hour long. They're hour long.
Man. And how's the host?
The host is Jeff. It's not really Jeff. It's Australian Jeff. The number of times he said, "You got to dig deep." It's like he sat and studied Jeff for, like basically it's just the guy is trying to be Jeff. So that part's kind of funny, honestly, because he just wants to be Jeff, but he's got an Australian accent. Do you think it's by the same? It is totally the same. It is a licensed deal. It has the same intro, like, I'm talking about the that. Yeah, it is the show.
No, I'm kind of excited now. I'm gonna have to find out where I can legally.
Yeah, you gotta. I have to tell you how I legally got it.
I'm gonna go get more.
Is this tree gonna look all right? Like, how's it look now?
It looks okay. I'm wondering if it's too thick.
The base?
No, I actually think it's gonna look fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need to get more. I'm like out of leaves already. I thought I had plenty, and that was a completely incorrect assumption. Whew! I'm taking some big falls. Well, by the time we actually get this tree built, it might be Christmas. How are we gonna light it? I mean, you said the redstone, but like, how are we gonna light it? Oh, I had another stack.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming we're gonna put wool and stuff on it, right?
How did you get the? Yeah, we can. How are you gonna get? Or how'd you get that spruce tree to grow so flush or so lush out here?
What do you mean?
There's the one that I took down was like one of the ones that had leaves top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's just a random thing,
Is
right?
it just random? Because all the other two that have grown so far are just top trees.
Something's weird here.
Is one of them longer than the other? No, they definitely seem to be. I'm trying to think how I did the triangle to get. I did the the leaves diagonally to get out there, so it's all the same length.
Yeah, something on the way up got funky.
Probably the corners. Wasn't as high as I thought. I still can't believe your school is Elf on the Shelf Santa bullshit.
Yeah, when I found out about it yesterday, I was like, man, I can't wait to tell Jeff.
I literally thought that something like that would be unacceptable in today's society.
I think it's fine, but I mean,
I mean unacceptable from the aspect of everything being so PC. With a lot of the stores that don't do the Christmas stuff anymore. It is all the happy holiday stuff.
Yeah, well, I think that's stupid.
You would. I think we should force Chick-fil-A to open up on Sundays. Be like, hey, you want to have a business? Then you open up on Sundays for all us non-religious people.
I stopped eating there for so long, all because of their stance on homosexuality.
I have not eaten there in a very long time, and I'll be honest, it's not because of that. I don't like that about them. But
we eat there regularly now. My daughter, it's one of the few places that like they have like grilled nuggets and stuff, and I don't know, it's not that bad. So I eat there every Tuesday night before going to gymnastics. It's like on the way between swim class and gymnastics.
What does your daughter do while you're in your gymnastics class?
She watches. She's so
She
proud.
sits in that little observation booth and it's like, "Go, daddy."
I don't think we need more leaves. I mean, depending on how this looks, I guess.
Oh, well, I'll finish chopping this tree then. I didn't realize that. I guess it gets smaller as you go up, so maybe it just seemed.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, depending on how this looks. That looks weird. That is not
Hold
a
on.
Christmas tree. That is terrible. That is awful. Awful.
Well, I was wondering if we should do a layer in between each layer of blank. Because Christmas trees, I mean, it's not fully. You can make them look flush, but there's like bare spots and stuff in them too, and like you can see through them to the trunk. I think it's more of that realistic effect when you put something together too quote unquote perfectly. It's bad. Do you have a way up that mountain very easily?
No, I just kind of parkour it.
Okay.
This is the ugliest tree.
Well, I mean,
What I think we ought to
because
do is what you said is a good idea, but we also should do like it needs to be taller, basically. Like the fact that it goes from wide to thin so quickly.
Does it need to be a baller?
Yes. You know what I mean though? It needs to be like 2 layers of 6 out and then move in by 1. And then 2 layers of whatever, 5 out, and then.
So
in
what
by
you're
1.
saying is we'll need more.
We need more leaves. We definitely need more leaves.
Oh yeah, it does. It's a little short, stubby guy.
Yeah, it's a terrible tree. We're also out of time, so this tree was not gonna make the cut. We'll come back and work on this tree some more.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Bye.